roasting eggs, huh?
Yeah, I was saying we ate a lot of pecans out of those trees.
Oh yeah. We used to pick them out of the ditch.
Yeah, he didn't want
Right.
He didn't want us
He
to
didn't
pick them
want us
out of
to
the
pick 'em
ditch.
out.
We
So
did
we had to do it
anyway.
when they weren't home. See that front porch? Can't believe how small it is. It used to look.
It hadn't changed in size. That's how the size it's always been.
Yeah,
It used to
'cause
be
we
huge.
always, we used to
Seems
all
like it was
sit on it.
huge. It's my birthplace. Lucian was
I was
two,
born across the track over there by where we
almost
were.
2 when they moved here.
Yeah.
Dad built it, I guess, with people from the mill.
Yeah, we had 7 boys and 3 girls. The oldest one was Lawrence. He'd been in World War II. Oh, you remember how we used to complain we had to mow the yard? Well, this is no yard.
Well, it was on the side yard then. Well, Mama, we had a push mower. Mom used to make us mow it, and if they didn't incur it at all, we'd have to go over it. And she used to get down there and be pulling grass while we were mowing.
You mow it the first time,
Yeah.
then we had to rake it because she
Rake
wanted
it
to wait.
and mow it again.
But every time we'd rake it, looked like the grass would come back up and we had to mow it again.
Their mothers and fathers were brothers and sisters.
Our mothers were sisters and our fathers were brothers.
You know that?
We
And
double
this is the
first
second,
cousins.
well, actually, it's the third generation of sisters marrying brothers. Because our grandmother and her sister married brothers. And then our mothers married brothers. And then
Then
they
we
married.
They
Yeah.
just didn't know what else to do.
Well, there were no other
They
people
didn't have
around.
a car to go look for somebody else.
But none of it blood kin because it was all.
That's right.
No, none of them was about kid.
Our father was Lucian Senior, yeah, and he was miller at the rice mill on the river. There was 2 mills, and he worked there, and just about every town worked there, I guess. And Lena's Johnny, his father and mother lived the other end of town, and he worked at the mill.
And he lived by the
And he lived right by the mill.
You didn't have to go far.
So that was the industry in that little town, was mill and
Our dad's name was Aldez,
ALDES.
and mom's name was Claudette. All thing I knew Daddy did was he was a carpenter. But I think at one time, wasn't he like on the merchant marine ship or on
They worked at the shipyard in Mermont.
Well, that was after I left home.
And he
Yeah.
wasn't only a carpenter.
No,
the guy
he was a
talented,
plumber
super.
and-
He could do and did
Everything.
everything.
He built this house.
He can do. He did.
He built that house, right?
Yeah, he
Behind
built
us.
this house.
He
Yeah,
did all
he
the
did.
electrical work himself on this house.
Everything. He
Electrical.
built this table.
Yeah, he did.
I
Yeah.
have one like
He
it
did.
too, actually. And Grandma sewed
She
for
sewed.
everybody. I never had a store-bought dress until I graduated from high school.
And she sewed most of y'all's
Yes, she
clothes.
And if
She
we would
even
go to
made
the
my
store,
wedding dress.
She made all the wedding
all our wedding dresses.
Mama made
Yes.
clothes out of feed sacks.
Feed sacks.
Yeah, that's true. Because they sold feed
In-
sacks that
yeah,
were
in
fabric.
Purina
Yeah.
feed.
Shirts,
Purina.
men's shirts, or boys'
And
shirts.
it was they were nice.
They were
Yeah.
prints. They were printed. I mean, they weren't ugly or anything. They were pretty, and they
Yeah.
made pretty dresses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, I joined the military in January '56. And then while I was in basic, I was thinking about Virginia every day. And then I found out when I was in tech school, my AFSC, what I was training in, was overseas. So after I got to tech school, I had another 30-day leave, and I didn't want to, because Virginia had a couple of dates with some doctor from Gaydon.
Oh,
Kaplan, yeah.
Marion, his name was Marion.
Marion.
I remember
Oh,
that.
I
Yeah.
remember that. I do.
And I didn't like it at all. And so we got married on that 30-day leave before I went overseas. So I was gone. Yeah. We had 30
And you were
days.
gone for a long time.
A year.
A
Well,
year.
12, 14 months, I think.
Yeah.
She graduated a year before I did. And she went to work in Crowley at the eye doctor.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Hey, I've been in doctor business all your life.
And then when I graduated, I tried to find a job, couldn't find a job because I was draft age. Nobody would hire me because I was draft age.
Yeah, I know.
So I joined the Air Force. And I wrote her a letter and told her,
You
ask
didn't have a
her
phone at home then?
how soon could she get a wedding planned. Because I said I'm coming home on Christmas leave. And I'm not going back without you. So plan a wedding and we'll get married and we'll go back together. So she did. I remember how nervous I was.
When you got married?
Yeah. Standing over there.
Who all got married in this church?
Me and Aunt Barbara. Thomas, Virginia.
Freddie and Bill.
Lena and Johnny.
Lena and Johnny. Yeah. My sister Hazel got married here. My oldest sister. We always had a great big choir for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christmas season. And we sang the Latin Mass
Yeah.
for Christmas.
Because a lot of the older parishioners, French was their language, so he'd give the homily in French.
With the Latin Mass.
With the Latin Mass, yeah.
Yeah.
And most of it was fire and brimstone. It wasn't no paint a pretty picture and love, love abounds and we understand and most of it was. In fact, we used to get on Sundays after the dances. Used to say, if you can go to the dance and stay out till midnight, you can come to church in the morning. So,
Yeah, Mama used to see to it that we went to church.
yeah.
They didn't go that often, but she got us up there every Sunday. It was probably 40 feet deep right under the bridge. One year it collapsed. The whole thing collapsed with a train over it. It dumped a bunch of boxcars and cars in the river.
See, the original bridge was built in 1939. There's the foundation for it right there, and it just came across. This was built in probably 80s, 70s or 80s.
I guess.
And there's a little shipyard right down there where Grandpa used to work.
It was probably past that big oak tree, the club itself, because Nook's house was right behind it, so it had to be right there. Yeah, right here. About 13 or 14, I was shining shoes. Used to shine shoes at the River Club. And for 10 cents a piece. Some people would give me a quarter, you know. And what I hated to see was those damn farm boys come in there with their muddy shoes and all that shit, and I had to clean that up before I could shine it.
And they used to stand and put their foot on the shine box and loosen us down here.
Yeah, I'd get on my knees and shoe shine box.
You know,
I made the box, and I still have it at home.
you still have it?
Yeah,
Oh boy.
I made it out of a apple crate. I still got it.
You know, even the older crowd was always joyous. Music playing, dancing, and on weekends was kind of the Cajun music
Yeah.
time. All the older folks, and even had wedding dances here, you know. People would get married in the church and come over here that evening and just have a big old wedding dance, and all the just packed the place, you know.
Yeah, this was our social life mostly.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Allah don't say Galinda, Allah don't say Galinda, Allah don't say Galinda, vous faites fâcher les femmes, c'est pas tout le monde qui peut danser les vases de vieux temps, pendant ta mère n'est pas là, Allah don't say Galinda. The prettiest girl in all the Bayou Land. Dance with her and try to win her hand. Her mother would always chaperone Belinda every night. She did not want them Cajun boys to hold her daughter tight. Allah don't say Belinda, Allah don't say Belinda, Allah don't say Belinda, pour faire fâcher les femmes. C'est pas tout le monde qui peut. C'est les vases de vieux temps, pendant ta mère n'est pas là, alors non c'est Galinda.
Awesome. Got no more breath.
What's the oxygen? What's the oxygen?
What is this, Annabelle?
Okay, this is eggplant rice dressing. And actually, I guess it evolved from my mom's rice dressing. She didn't make it like this, but every time I would make it, I would alter it. So today's has ground meat, Jimmy Dean sausage, rice, and eggplant. Yes. I made it for my family for Christmas. I was the oldest of 8, and my mom went to work at the Crowley Laundry when I started high school. And so I would come home from school, and I would fix dinner so that when Mom and Daddy got home, dinner was ready for us. So I've cooked all my life.
And you're a good cook, though. See?
And besides, she was born in a dance hall, so that's
Yes.
good.
Okay, let me tell you the story.
How did that story go?
Okay, I didn't know
Your
that.
mama went into labor? at the
No.
dance hall?
Uzeb and Tontied had a dance hall. They had opened a dance hall. It was behind, between your daddy's house and Uzeb's house.
Oh,
It was
really?
toward the back.
I don't remember that.
Well, it went out of business before Mom and them got married. And they got married and didn't have any place to live. So they moved into the dance hall. You know, there was a little room with a kind of a built-in bunk where people would put their babies and they would go dance. They put their babies to
But
sleep.
most dance halls had those.
Right. So that's where they lived in that. I don't know exactly how long they lived there, but I was born when they lived there. I don't know if Johnny was or
Yes,
not.
Johnny was born in the
I
dance
think
hall
so.
too.
Okay. Then
Yes.
they just, Mama and Daddy were going to build a house. They used the wood from the dance hall to build the house. And there came a time when you couldn't stay in the dance hall anymore, and the house wasn't complete. So Zeb had a garage for his wooden bus. So we moved into the garage, and we stayed in the garage for about 3 months, I think,
Till the
before we
house was
finally
done.
got our house.
Wow. I'm
Yeah.
glad I came later.
You
Right,
know,
Zachary?
one thing distinguished about us,
It's all
Cajuns
good
in Louisiana, we were eating crawfish long before crawfish was cool.
Talk about.
Now everybody's eating crawfish.
Everybody jumps on the
It's a-
bandwagon.
And especially the Texans who used to say, oh, they eat anything, they eat crawfish.
Hey,
this,
hey,
that,
don't
that,
eat
no,
mud
no."
bugs.
Now crawfish is bigger, business is bigger in Texas than it is in
It
Louisiana.
is.
They migrate across the road.
Not quite, but
There were
almost.
like millions of them.
Yeah, I mean, if you weren't there to catch them,
Right,
you know,
right,
they just,
that's right.
Walk away.
Yeah,
because they just break the levee and let the water out of the rice field before they harvested. They had to let the water out. Crawfish would come out in the ditches and
They just don't know how much to eat. They don't eat enough crawfish.
what the crawfish.
Yeah. I go and eat
Oh,
crawfish.
they know how much to eat.
Yeah, I can eat 10 pounds, and they're like, oh, maybe 2 pounds. I'm not too. No, that's not
You're
good.
wasting your time with less than 10 pounds.
And
Back in Cajun country, in French, people said they
Bad words.
described they described people who spoke English,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Americans.
right.
They were the Americans.
Des
Les
Américains.
Américains.
There's American, that's what they were.
And it's the Cajun, if we were
Yeah.
French.
See, they were very clannish people.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why the language stayed, what,
For
over
so
200
long,
years,
yeah.
1755 to
Yeah.
1955, 200 years.
Yeah, we didn't travel out of our little territory.
Well,
there.
no.
We didn't. Our social life was school and church
In sports.
and sports. Yeah, that was it. We call this Grandma's Bridge.
Yeah.
And we call this La Ciperia. It's kind of a swamp area, low. And this goes pretty far back there.
Grandma and Grandpa had their house. The kids lived back there. It's practically in the swamp.
Yeah,
Gramps used to fish this a lot
yeah.
because they
Garfish.
used to eat a lot of fish.
Even called garfish. And Grandma, have you ever had any grandma's garfish?
Garfish roast
Oh, yeah. She used to make roast out of garfish.
makes a
Yeah.
great gravy.
Yeah, sure did.
And they catch a lot of goujon, they call it, a
Yeah.
type of catfish.
Catfish, yellow catfish.
Yellow cat.
Yellow cat is what they were.
Yeah.
And a lot of carp. Oh my God, the carp.
Well, I never ate the carp.
Oh, no, we never did either. Of so many bones. Oh man, they're okay to eat, but
Yeah.
we got all excited one time when we were here, and the water came up, and flooded behind Grandpa's house there, and there were carp. They were teeming. You could see them fluttering out there. We went out and got some, and Grandma didn't want to fix them. So. No, that's trash. I guess there used to be a lot of cypress trees out here.
Yeah.
In fact, Grandpa built his house with lumber. Probably they got out of here because it's cypress. He's got a lot of cypress in the framing.
People wanted them to build their houses because they're
The cypress logs.
cypress logs
Yeah,
that
it doesn't rot.
fell in the
Yeah,
river.
just let 'em
They'd
dry
been there
out.
for years.
And send it
Pull
to the
them up.
mill and plank it.
Yeah. Café du café? Pas du café. On a préusé le community.
Community.
C'est entre le noir et
Le douce.
Le douce.
OK. All right, c'est bon. Tu te rappelles de cru au beurre?
Non.
Ça, on
pas de
ça,
cru au
on
beurre.
boit vers la maison.
Ça fait du cru au beurre, toujours?
Je crois pas, mais c'était ça on usait à la maison. Cru.
Oh, ouais.
Yeah. C'était bon.
À notre maison.
Yeah. Quand on était petit.
Longtemps passé.
Ouais, longtemps
Oh,
passé.
Et du Mellow Joy.
Oh, Mellow Joy, je me rappelle pas ça.
OK, on va faire mets de l'eau ici, donc.
OK.
On va faire 10 tasses.
Ouais. Ouais, c'est ça, on en avait pour le déjeuner. Des cafés au lait et peut-être des pains grillés. Ils buvaient ça toute la journée. Et dans les ennuis aussi. Mais ils disent ça qui empêche de dormir, c'est qu'il connaît, il y a du café resté dans la crête
ouais.
quand il se couche.
Ça, c'est quoi? 10 tasses, c'est quoi? C'est trop...
Peut-être 3 grandes cuillères ou 4. Ah, c'est pas. C'est du café moyen fort.
Ça me donne envie de jurer. Je ne veux pas jurer. Ça me fâche. Regarde donc ça. All right. C'est pareil.
C'est pareil?
Ouais.
All right.
Bon.
Yeah, we had electricity, but we didn't have indoor plumbing till
No.
See,
way up.
We
I
had,
must have been,
one of those
I must have been
WPA
13
or
when we-
CCC
yeah.
outhouses.
I can remember not having
I-
plumbing and,
yeah,
But
me
we
too.
always had a bathroom.
we had a bathroom, but we didn't have
Yeah.
indoor plumbing.
No,
Yeah, us too.
But it wasn't long before we
We
did.
had a bathroom, but we didn't have indoor
Well, I can
plumbing.
remember.
I remember
not
taking a bath.
Lucia and I used to
And,
bathe in the
yeah.
wash house, about 30 feet from the
And
house.
then a number 3 wash tub.
Number 3 wash house.
You worked
And
okay?
we'd wrap a towel around and run back in the house
Wow.
after.
Well, we would.
And Florence used to watch us through the window.
She got the charge out of that.
So she told her dad. So he told mom,
Oh,
watch those boys running around,
well, he should have
running
watched it in the water.
half naked.
She didn't have to watch.
Well, no, she was always standing at the window.
She wanted to watch.
So we had a towel wrapped around. She
Well,
couldn't
yeah.
see nothing. Maybe she had a weird imagination. We all went to the same school.
We did.
Yeah, we did, except elementary schools.
Yes.
We
Well, yeah, I don't know. We
We
went to.
met you all when we got to 7th grade.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I fell in love with him when he got off the bus.
Oh my God.
I'm serious. I am serious. When the bus from Mermentau dropped him off
Uh-huh.
at school in Esterwood, and he came off the bus. And me and some other girls that were so excited to see boys we hadn't seen. And I told him that was the cutest guy that was getting off the bus, and he was mine.
And I think they were 12 years old or something, 11 or 12. I know one time in particular, we were coming home from school and it was raining, and there was a gully with 3 bridges that we had to cross to get to the other side of the road, the road.
And they were
And it-
they were
and they
close
were-
together.
And there
The
were
bridges
bridges and they curved. Well, the bridges were covered with water.
I remember that.
And the bus driver's son rode our bus. Well, his dad made him get out of the bus, walk in front of the bus, and follow the road. And the bus followed the road.
So he
in
wouldn't
the
go
water,
in the.
so we wouldn't go
canal.
off the bridges.
and the bridges had no sides.
No signs.
No
No, they were
signs.
those little wooden bridges.
Yeah, that was not fun.
No,
Yeah,
that was
every
not
time we had
fun.
I was gonna say, Bill and Barbara was out at Victoria at the high school class.
Yeah, we
Talk
were.
about that.
How about that?
I mean, that has to be told.
Well, yeah.
Well,
Has to be
yeah.
recorded for history.
No, never mind that there was only 8 people.
Well, hey, we had
Well,
12.
you didn't have to tell them that.
the girls used to walk around the school building
Oh,
at
we used to
recess.
walk around all the time.
All
I
around the
remember
school
doing that
building.
when I was little.
And we'd sit in the windows watching the girls walking in the school building. They'd look at us, we'd look at them. Check them out. And I remember Virginia,
Okay.
I'm sure there's a lot of days when you remember Virginia, you remember us together.
Yeah, I know.
Always
Yeah.
together.
yeah, well, Virginia.
Yeah.
I was always scared of him.
Of Virginia?
Because I've always been a coward.
And she was not a coward.
And she was not
Oh.
ever mean to me, but I was always afraid she would be.
Because if she got mad, you couldn't handle her.
I was too scared.
You know, she always spoke her piece when she had enough.
She
Yeah.
did,
She did.
yeah.
She
But
sure
it was,
did.
but she was never in school. She got along with everybody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, she would
Well-
always stick around with our class instead
Yeah,
of her
yeah,
class. And when we played basketball, we had the same name. We even looked like a little bit.
Yeah.
We used to tell people, the out of town people, that we were
We're
twins.
twins.
And they
would
believed
That's kind of
us.
Lucian, me and Lucian, I guess.
Got married in '63
Yeah.
to Johnny. Went to Massachusetts because he was in the service. I had 2 boys there. And then when he got out, we moved back to Louisiana and we lived here in Benton. We lived with Uncle Paul and Aunt Joyce for a while.
But not long.
Not long. We got out in October, and in January, Johnny got a job at Dow in Freeport because Thomas and Richard were working there, and they put in a good word, and he got a job, so we moved to Texas. And then we had Andy, we had our 3rd son in Texas. But
Very
Thomas's
good.
family and Virginia's family were in Louisiana. They had 8 kids. And then Belle and her family moved there, so we had more family. We did do a lot of things together. I remember the Christmas Eves.
Yeah.
We would always go to the beach and do fireworks.
Yeah.
And then we'd go back to Belle's house and
Have
have seafood
gumbo and,
gumbo.
Oh,
and
gumbo.
we would draw names and
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
And I remember when Jennifer and Samantha were little, everybody wanted to get their names because they were the only babies around.
Yeah, so. Well, talking about kids, my first 2 kids were born when John was in the service. And I don't know if I can say this either.
Yes, you can. You're strong. No. Okay.
My Dave.
Yeah. Dave was one of a kind.
Well, you can be proud.
Yes.
So proud.
He was born messed. I can't. I just can't do it.
Okay.
I want to, but I can't.
That's okay. I met their older brother. He had gotten a divorce and came and moved in with his mom in Mermentau. And we were all at the dance at the River Club, and he came to meet and talk as brothers, and he danced with me a couple of times, and that's where that started. And then one time we went to your house. We came here to Benton. You were living in this little white house over there. We came to visit, and that's the day he asked me to marry him.
Oh, I didn't know
What
that.
year did y'all get married?
1960. Yeah.
What year?
60.
60?
Yeah. I guess I can say this. In 1979, all 3 of my older kids, all 3 of my older kids were in band, and they went to a band tour in Austin, and after they had their concert, they went to a dude ranch and went swimming in the river, and my son Kyle drowned, and it was 3 days before they found his body. And yeah, that was the hardest thing I've ever lived through. And it's going to be
forever.
This is going to be 39 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Since that happened?
Yeah.
39 years?
It was 79.
And Daddy died in 80.
Yeah.
Well, life happens,
No.
but things terrible, sad happens, but that's life.
I guess because everything we've been talking about reminds me of us as Cajuns, because we always clung together.
Right.
I mean, we always helped each other. It was amazing. If somebody was sick, there was always somebody there
Yes.
to take care of them. If they didn't have a car to go to the doctor, somebody in the area brought them to the doctor,
Yeah.
or went and picked up their medicine. Or
Right.
it was what we did for each other, and I suppose it was because we came as a clan almost. But
For sure.
but I'm not seeing that kind of togetherness in anybody like that. I just haven't. Maybe it's not because I haven't been able to, but I have not seen that in anybody else but y'all
It's different. Yeah.
and the families of the Cajun people.
Yeah, this porch used to be had a kind of wood railing around with a deep frame in the front, and Virginia and I had carved down this was right. It was right about in this corner right here, and when we were back, I guess I don't know how many years ago, probably 20. We come over here and this was still there. They'd painted over. I had a really sharp knife, and I was just sitting there, you know, and so I made it pretty deep. So they even painted over it, and you could still see it, still there. Yeah, that's good.
Tell me about this song.
It was your grandmother's favorite French song, I guess, because she used to rock the baby. She kept Zach and a couple other young kids while their mothers taught school, and she used to like to hold them in the mornings when they got there. Isn't that the truth? Sit on each side or nap time and rock them. You know, she loved to rock babies, and she used to sing. I know she knew the first verse and probably hummed the rest. But when I started looking at the song, it's a pretty soulful song about a lost love, because the love didn't live very long.
So it's
Evidently,
not a lullaby.
it's
That's
not a
what you're saying.
lullaby. Yeah, it's not a lullaby for a kid. So.
Anyway, the last verse was really a sad thing.
Really a
because,
downer.
Yeah, because he went by and knocked on the door of the house, and they opened the door, and her coffin was laid out.
She didn't sing that one. She left that one out.
No, she didn't sing that.
Well, let's do it.
But, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
And we left out the fourth verse.
That's all
Or
right.
the third verse. J'ai passé devant ta porte, j'ai crié baba ma belle, y a personne qui m'a répondu. Oh yeah, mon cœur est mal. Mes amis, j'ai observé, moi j'ai vu une petite lumière allumée. Il y a quelque chose qui me disait je répéterai. Oh yeah, mon cœur fait mal. J'ai passé devant ta porte, j'ai crié à ma belle, y a personne qui m'a répondu. Oh yeah, yeah, mon cœur fait mal. Did you get that one? Good.
Good.
I know a place back in my younger days. Walk down past the cattle guard on a parish road. We'd sit and fish right there on the Grandma Bridge, and then run a trot line through the swamp out in the P Road. They got the way, the gumbo and etouffee. They got the sausage and the crawfish are boiling too. But I'll be fine right about rice and gravy time. Lord, it's the simple things in life that make the stew. And I wanna go back to Acadia Parish, near old Morristown, southwest Louisiana. Go so I can ride on Grandpa's shoulders, or watch him cussing at the alligator gar on the side of the road.
Then we used to pick cotton for no River.
Yeah, remember that? Mom would form us out. During cotton
Oh,
picking
yeah.
time.
It's good. Hard work is good for you.
Yeah.
And so you had to pick 100 pounds a day to make a dollar.
Oh my
And
God.
you know how much 100 pounds, how long it takes to pick 100 pounds?
Takes all day.
Oh my God.
Nuka's family lived down the road, and Nuka had a brother named Claude,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he drove a truck. So we'd leave early in the morning, start walking. Oh, I wish that Claude would pick us up and take us to Noncatilus. And every once in a while we got lucky. Claude would be coming down the road. Not very
I want
often.
to kiss him.
Boy, y'all were making the best of it.
Oh, well, yeah.